fellow wrestling fans out there. It is I, Lindsay Rogers, and welcome back to the Wrestling Fan Vlog. And let's talk about what else? AEW Dynamite. I'm going to put up about what I saw last night and my thoughts about this. So if you guys haven't seen AEW Dynamite last night, go watch it right now, because there will be spoilers. And we'll also, in fact, next week on Impact, I will explain that at later on. So this is your chance to just pause it right now, go watch it, and you'll see. Alright? And pause it right about now. Okay, so I give you a chance. Here are the spoilers and stuff. So let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Oh, wow. This is going to be one thing that's going to go down in all of pro wrestling. I mean, this is so crazy, and I'm like, oh boy. I will tell you guys about the Impact thing a little bit later, but let's talk about the Battle Royale first. So it turns out the last two who's probably going to have a shot against the AEW champion, which apparently that's going to be really questionable. But anyway, so what happened? So who won the Battle Royale? It turns out it was Orange Cassidy and MJF. Those two will be taken on in the next week on AEW Dynamite, who will challenge the champion. I guess or is it MJF's Diamond Ring thing? I don't know. I got confused. So apparently, yeah. So that's happening next week. Of course, Miro got very angry about this. So, apparently he tried to take out the best friends, because what happened was Trent and Chuck Taylor came out and supporting their buddy Orange Cassidy, and it was really kind of crazy. Let's see. There was Chris Jericho versus Frankie Kazarian. I think that match was thrown out. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention because I was really distracted because my mother had the Christmas lighting ceremony. Boo. And I was mostly focused on my phone and DMing my friend Carrie. So whoopsie. But anyway, so we get to the next one. It was the tag team match between or was it the women's match? No, it was the women's match, I think. Between or was it, I don't know, I'm getting confused right now. I think it was the women. We had the women's match between Dr. Britt Baker and Leyla Hirsch. It turns out the match ended up being thrown out because of Thunder Rosa came out and wailed on Britt Baker. And apparently Rebel, who is Britt's assistant, she tried to go after Thunder Rosa, but Britt's opponent for that night took care of her. And the two of them went at it. I'm like, yeah, this is something really good. Those two were being separated by referees, the agents, heck, even Jerry Lynn. And everybody was chanting him. So, and of course we had that, there was the tag team match between Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes versus Taz's two boys that he had who's upon Team Taz, Ricky Starks, and Hobbs. And it turns out the match was I think it was also completely thrown out, or ended in the favor of Team Taz, but suddenly, next thing you know, something went completely crazy, and it turns out that the Twitter went completely broke, thanks to the wrestling community, because of Sting. Yeah. Apparently, Sting is now part of AEW. And everybody was in shock to see Sting in AEW. And it has been a long time, I guess, since TNT had Sting on there. So yes, the icon Sting is now part of AEW Dynamite. AEW, and will be on AEW Dynamite, and he will be talking next week. Even though I guess he saved both Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes from being destroyed out by Team Taz. So we'll find out what he has to say about this. Although when I saw that when AEW's Twitter account, which is AEW, they said that they had made the announcement that Sting will be Sting has been signed with AEW. So, bruh, this is the most craziest thing ever. I'm like, this is no cap, man. So anyway, so Sting is in AEW, and apparently a lot of people are talking about this. Apparently, Young Bucks there was a Young Bucks segment, but they got interrupted by some tag team who mocked the Young Bucks, and then they got viciously attacked, I think, by the North, but then they got, no. Sorry. And that I shouldn't say it, because that's, like I said, that was a lot of explaining. I think the guys were attacked by, I forget who attacked them, but they got saved by Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian of SCU, which is really kind of cool to see that. But anyway, but I think my mind has gone crazy, because last night when the main event happened, it went completely crazy, and it turns out, there's a lot of things happen. And if you guys didn't know, besides that, it was very cold in Jacksonville. Apparently there was something happen. Don Callis, who, if you guys don't know who he is, and I apologize, Don, for messing up your name when I was tweeting along. Don Callis, if you guys don't know who he is considered to be a very close friend of Kenny Omega, because, Don has been trained by Kenny's uncle, which I'm going to go and see about this, but anyway, so yes, well, not trained, I should say. He mentored, Don Callis, and, so that's why he's close to Kenny Omega, because they're friends, and because, they know each other. So, apparently, before this whole entire situation with AEW, and then Callis and Impact Wrestling, it turns out that, the two of them were there on, with, New Japan Pro Wrestling. That was the last time, and Callis and Omega were together, until last night. It turns out Don Callis was, first of all, Don Callis came on to AEW Dynamite to call the main event as a courtesy for Kenny. Turns out there was more than that. As the main event happens, things got a little out of hand. Kenny was definitely knocked out. I thought this match was going to end, till Jon Moxley somehow nearly almost knocked out Don Callis because he wanted to check Don Kenny. But that was weird. And it turns out Mox got bleeding, and the match ended up that Kenny wins somehow. And sure enough, the next thing you know, he and Don Callis Kenny Omega, who is our current AEW champion, he has 1/4 of the executive vice president, who runs off with Don Callis, who's not just the Impact commentator, but also he's the executive vice president for Impact Wrestling. And we see them running off, and it turns out that Kenny's showing up on Impact Wrestling, and I'm like, what? He's showing up on Impact Wrestling? So, yeah. And because of that, every wrestler who I followed who are either on AEW or Impact just witnessed this whole entire situation going down. And because of that, well, there are a lot of things that are gonna happen. So apparently, I'm gonna try to look into Impact Wrestling come next week if I can, and find out what's the story going on. Apparently, even though I had told my friend Carrie, I'm like, I have to go find a way to watch this because my cable provider does not have access TV. So she told me, it was like, oh, they're going to be streaming on Twitch. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, I'm in it. I'll see that. So I think it will be on Tuesday, I guess. Sure enough, I will find out what's going on. Hopefully, and if you guys want to watch it, and if you can't, if you don't have access TV, I will leave the Impact Wrestling Twitch channel on the description down below, so you guys can check it out. And plus, not only that, they show off classic Impact matches, especially during the days of when Jeff Jarrett had a chance to wrestle as much. So anyway, guys, I hope you do understand this. If you do, please hit that like button down below. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure notifications are definitely turned on. And apparently I'm going to also have a second video today because I want to talk about what I saw on Twitter that really makes me question what the heck is going on with WWE. Okay? So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.